Braves. Braves little
Similar colors. It's still 2-2, no one on, one out, top 10.
Okay. All right, Ben, before we move on to another team, I have something to ask you. So, the Cleveland Indians ballpark, is it Progressive Field?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I'm looking up how many people it seats.
It's packed right now. It's been packed for the last 15 years.
Oh, no. You would be wrong, my friend. Okay, so their capacity in Cleveland, Ohio, is 35,225. Do you know what the attendance for last night's game was? And this is the announced attendance, not even everyone who showed up for the game.
What was it?
29,346. That's 6,000 people under the maximum capacity for a team that has won, at that point, had won 20 in a row and are going to beat the Oakland A's.
It's like the McGregor-Mayweather fight.
Well, that one I understand. It's like you don't want to pay $10,000 for...
I'll take one of those 6,000 seats.
Yeah, I know. Okay. The Clutch road trip, me, you, and Sylvester, we're going to Cleveland. Well, maybe not now since they're losing. Although, or they're in extra innings. Yeah,
ties don't count though.
This is true. We've talked about this. What is the budget for the Clutch travel expenses?
Zero.
Okay, I think that's pretty close to what my travel expense budget is for my other position. But we'll make it work. Maybe we'll do a little road trip this weekend. I don't have anything to do. Cal Poly's on a bye, so. If Cleveland makes it to Friday night with the streak intact, there is like at least a 2% possibility that we'd make this road trip to Cleveland.
Alex, this is not an exaggeration. I have $5 in my bank account. But
well, yeah, but you said your Venmo had like 30 in it. So, I mean, we're Venmoing.
So,
excuse me, sir.
The point of this is, if you would like to sponsor us and give us a little more money for our travel fund, we are always available at email at theclutch1280@gmail.com.
Yeah.
We are taking sponsors, anyone and everyone. If you want your name to be heard by however many listeners we have, which hopefully is getting up into the 10,000s by now.
At least, I mean, if you see a show named Test 2, I mean, gosh, you must be doing something right. Maybe we can fix that as we go to
first segment break. All right, let's talk a little bit about some other pennant races because not everyone cares about the Cleveland Indians. I did it before 22 games ago.
And so apparently neither do 6,000 people in Cleveland. Keep going.
They just care about LeBron. And he's not even going to be there next year. You know, his wife was checking out houses in L.A. closer to Sherman Oaks High School.
He has
a house in L.A. But it's also closer to the new high school, Notre Dame High School.
Speaking of Sherman Oaks, that's where we got that.
Corner of Sepulveda and Ventura.
Is it Guadalupe?
Okay, you're taking from that one day. You're taking from the cute waitress and the awesome food.
The awesome food was awesome. That's what I'm talking about. We had breakfast, and it was like one of the greatest meals I've ever had in my life.
It was delicious. But that day, which was really cool, Mark Willard,
Colombian.
We were able. It was Guatemalan. You're right. We were able to sit in with Mark Willard and Chris Broussard on their show and actually sit in Chris's seat because Chris was over in New York.
You got to sit in his seat.
Oh yeah,
I sat in like the don't ever use that seat.
But that was an awesome time, and Mark gave us a lot of insight, and he'll be on the show later, like we said, coming up around 8:30. Right now, he's playing dad with the kids, but we'll get to talk to him a little later about some NFL and other MLB playoff races.
Yeah, hit me with that.
Boston Red Sox are up 3.5 games on New York. Who's taking that one? New York does have the wild card. They're up 3 games in that. But
I like the Yankees. I don't think necessarily they're going to win the division, but I think they are the better team overall, and I could see them making the World Series. I mean, with the additions they've made, maybe I'm a
hot take.
Sound effects budget is not super high.
We don't have producers.
We don't. As you can tell, Test 2 is going great. It's actually show 1. So, producer Mark Willard, get on that, please. But yeah, the Yankees, with Sonny Gray in tow as their new number 1 kind of pitcher. He should be their number 1. I think, okay, so scenario, let's say Aaron Judge gets back to Aaron Judge from May. Would you be surprised if the Yankees made it to the World Series?
Yes. But
you would be surprised. Okay.
I absolutely would. They're in too good a division. I don't see them being the American League team in the World Series.
So right now, they are the number 1 wild card, and Do
you see them beating the Houston Astros though?
Yeah,
at any point in time?
I see the Houston Astros as having weaknesses. I mean, their starting pitching is not exactly anything to write home about. Their offense is wonderful.
Do you see them beating the Cleveland Indians?
Yeah.
Because everything you just said, Cleveland has huge strengths in.
Okay, well, would you have said maybe a month and a half ago when we had the show where you said you guaranteed the Dodgers were going to make the World Series?
Never guaranteed.
Well, okay. We'll find that audio.
I all but guaranteed.
Our crack team of producers will find that audio, and we'll see if you guaranteed it or not. But I believe you did, and I also believe that any of these teams, none of these teams are unbeatable. I mean, even the Dodgers, when they won, their 52 games they had 52 wins in 60 games. I was still coming on the Sports Bite and saying they needed to trade for Yu Darvish. And because I didn't think that their starting pitching was deep enough, I think Clayton Kershaw, obviously if he's not the best pitcher in baseball, he's definitely top 3. But behind that, a lot of the guys that were doing so well for them do not, one, either have a long track record of sustained success, or they have a long track record of being hurt, or they just have a long track record of not being able to pitch deep into games. So we look now, Yu Darvish, I think he has like a 5-something ERA since joining the Dodgers, and he had he joined in a 5-hitter for the bullpen last night, so that's great. But
they were against the Giants. You can't hold it too much.
Yes, it's true. They were playing a quadruple A team, and so Clayton Kershaw obviously stud, and he's going to do his thing. And I think the Clayton Kershaw chokes in the playoffs hype is a little bit too hot for my taste. I think he's just had some bad outings, and I think last year he did quite well. But I don't think that their starting pitching is still enough where they're anything to guarantee like you did definitely on the show a month and a half ago. And I don't think the Cleveland Indians have that good of an offense where we can guarantee that they're going to make it either. And or any of these teams. I think the Yankees and the Red Sox, I mean, look, they don't have a great chance, but I would say they have, a mediocre chance of making it to the World Series. I don't think any of these teams, nothing in baseball, like you said, 10, 15 minutes ago, nothing in baseball is guaranteed. And I really think that the playoffs for baseball is going to come down to pitching, and whoever has the hot pitcher, hot bullpen, just like in hockey, if you have the hot goalie.
I'd say hot bullpen more than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, that really has been the last few years what has carried teams. I mean, Andrew Miller last year was like a god.
Yeah, he could have been MVP.
And the Royals, when they played the Giants, they had the 7, 8, 9 of guys that just once they got a lead into the 6th inning, you pretty much were guaranteed never to get the lead back again.
And on the flip side, in the Giants-Cubs series, Giants bullpen was brutal. The whole reason we went out and spent so much money on Mark Melanson, and the bullpen still sucks. But
I want the Giants to get into the playoffs. Obviously not this year, but next year, just so I can see Hunter Strickland get lit up. Hunter Strickland is probably my least favorite MLB player. Not probably, he is. I definitely sided with Bryce Harper over Hunter Strickland, and I will side with anyone, literally anyone, over Hunter Strickland, because Hunter Strickland is the type of guy who thinks that the right approach to being homered off of and having when someone has joy by homering off of him, the next best recourse is 3 years later to throw right at their chin. Which is like, come on. Look, I mean, I don't want to over-exaggerate and be too emotional and too like, look you could have killed him. But like some guy in the minors got hit in the chest by a pitch and he's like still in the hospital.
Yeah.
So like, there's real consequence to throwing at a guy's head. So Hunter Strickland, you suck.
Hunter Strickland is to Bryce Harper as Charles Barkley is to Steph Curry. It's new and old baseball, and Hunter Strickland unfortunately is 20 whatever, and he still is old baseball. And Bryce Harper obviously is the face of new baseball with the celebrating, with the hair, with the cleats, with all these things.
Hair.
Oh my gosh. But
yeah,
this whole idea of old style baseball is obviously still very real in Strickland. And old style baseball, it was okay to plunk someone with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and even if it was just because the guy showboated on you 3 years ago. But this new baseball is more concerned about player longevity, player just health in general. And now, I mean, Bryce Harper didn't miss any time for that, but like you said, he very well could have. And this is a guy who is the heart and soul of that Washington Nationals team and possibly MVP of the National League this year. It's just, I don't know. I agree with you. Hunter Strickland is my least favorite player on the Giants. They need to unload him along with a lot of other people, and get Giancarlo Stanton or another big bat in there because they need power. They haven't had power since Bonds left, and the closest to it has been Aubrey Huff and Brandon Belt.
Big home run hitters.
So, Huff. they need someone. They need a Giancarlo.
I would be very surprised if they got Giancarlo Stanton on their team. That would be... that would be quite a get. I'm not going to lie.
I think he's the only player in the MLB right now who could consistently hit home runs at AT&T Park.
Yeah. I mean, that's obviously the worst park to hit home runs in the entire Major League Baseball. So that would be impressive if you could hit 50-something home runs.
I think he could do it easily.
Do we have an update from Cleveland?
Oh, crap. I have not even been looking, and the game's
over.
No, it's not over, but they're doing replays, so keep talking.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out on the fly how to change the show name from Test 2 to something that is not something with Test in the title, and I'm currently not having a lot of success. So that is unfortunate.
Okay, we got off track a little bit and started talking about NL and the Giants when we need to be talking about wild card and AL and all these things.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of Bryce Harper, let's segue to that.
Still National League. We're good.
No, I know, but the Nationals, the Nationals are my pick to win the World Series.
Right? Ooh.
Yeah. If Bryce Harper comes back and he's anything like what he was for the rest of the season when he led the NL and OPS at 103.4, he's going to, I think the Nationals are going to make the World Series and win it. Bryce Harper is, quote, running lightly and, quote, swinging at baseballs.
I cannot believe he's on his feet after that injury.
Yeah, that did not look good, which is another reason why the Giants and Dodgers should not have played that game Monday night. They should have played it today. But, hey, just a little bitterness. What happened?
Got a man on, no outs. Oh, he's running for two?
The Indians?
Safe at second. Close play. Yeah, Indians have a runner on second, bottom 10, 2-2, 0 outs.
All right. So that is that. Indians looking like they're going to get their 22nd win in a row after Ben Fletcher already called the game earlier when he thought it was going to be catch. And Ben is trying to make up for his dire.
It was premature. I'm sorry.
Yeah, a little premature.
Okay. The Nationals are way ahead in that.
Yeah.
Another close one, though. Chicago Cubs and Milwaukee Brewers, the Brew Crew, are currently 2.5 games back. Oh, that changed. Someone must have won. I don't know.
Yeah.
That changed. It was 3.5 earlier.
We'll get our staff. So if it was 3.5, then it seems like both of them, or Brewers would have won, and the Cubs would have lost, but the Cubs currently have a 2-game winning streak. So maybe it was 3 earlier. Looks like the scores right now, see if either of those teams are playing. I don't believe they are. No, I don't think either of those teams even played today.
Then I'm wrong.
2.5 game lead for the Chicago Cubs. Obviously, coming off of last year, they kind of started this year off slow, and they've really turned it on late. It is going to be interesting going into October, and I think that the Cubs will make it to the playoffs. The Brewers, even though they have a guy on their team who has the most wins in all of Major League Baseball, which is kind of funny to me, because his ERA is like 3.7. I think the Cubs are far and away better than the Brewers. I think they have more talent. I mean, they had the most talent last year, and they won the World Series finally. And I think they just kind of started slow for the season, and I think they're kind of turned on right at the right time. Jake Arrieta has been much better the second half of the season. And if he's anything like what he was a couple of years ago in the playoffs, I mean, that is a huge win for the Cubs because they won this World Series with him last year, but with him not being what he was when he was like the Cy Young winner. So with that and with the offense that they have, I mean, they really have been an untapped Giant this entire year. And the fact that they've turned it on late could be the best way to do it. I mean, obviously they didn't schedule it like this. They didn't want to start off, the first half of the season being right around 500 the entire time and then turning it on late. They would have liked to have a Dodgers type start. But, 13 games over 500 now, 2.5 games ahead of the Brewers and Cardinals. I think they have as good a chance of any team in the NL, besides the Washington Nationals, of course, because I picked them to win the World Series, to win the World Series. I think I would have Chicago number 2 in the NL. I would have them over the Dodgers.
Crazy thing is, Chicago or Milwaukee, neither of them would be in for a wild card spot.
Yeah, which is kind of...
The NL West, for having two of the worst teams in baseball, is so stinking good. Because Arizona and Colorado have those first two spots all but locked up. Well, Arizona for sure has the top spot.